I like it.
Don't you
Hello,
love it?
everybody.
Hello.
Yeah, Tress
I
is
was just
choking.
coughing to start the episode. No, it's been great.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I've been drinking water and kind of choking a lot lately. And I'm like, fuck, is this a sign? Like, this is where my brain is at. Like, why am I not easily swallowing? So I've had to
Ooh,
really think about my throat chakra lately.
yeah, I was just gonna
Yeah,
say, that is a sign.
yeah,
Your body's never
yeah.
not giving you a sign. That's just exactly what I did too, right? I took a drink of my water, not that I haven't had congestion, because I have, because 'cause I've been draining
Mhm.
for, like, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I think my guides tell me it's gonna have to endure till after the first of the year with this, so perfect,
Mhm.
but hey, whatever.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I just did the exact same thing and then choked, so
Yeah,
that'll
I've
be
been doing
interesting to
that.
see as we start to talk about this, the fear of our voice, fear of speaking, being our authentic self.
Mhm.
But I've been working on my third eye energy, and I think my
Yeah.
guides have just shared with me this is all just catching up. The body's catching up, so
No, I love it. Well, I mean, I hate that you're sick, but I understand the draining part. I went
that's
like I
okay.
said, I think last episode, I went through that, and so I get it.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, I was sick last week, and then Nola was actually diagnosed with strep. That's fun, whatever. But for Christmas, I was gifted a vibration plate, me and every other millennial mom.
I've heard of these things. Somebody was asking me about this
Dude,
the other day. Tell me about it.
I love every second of it. Okay,
Okay.
so I don't think that I'm magically going to lose 1,000,000 pounds. That's not my intention behind it,
Oh,
so
is
that's
that
not
what
why I
it's for?
purchased it. Some people
Okay.
believe that,
Okay.
like, because you remember back in the day, the machines with the belts
Oh
that
my
shook you to
god,
death?
yes, my grandma had
Okay,
one and you yes.
okay, and the thought behind it was this blasting fat, or some shit,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe it is, that would be cool, I don't know,
Yeah.
but that's not why I bought it. Why I bought it or, asked for it, Santa brought it for me, is that because it's supposed to help with your nervous system.
Mhm.
It's supposed
Yes.
to help regulate your nervous system. It's also supposed to
Mhm.
promote lymphatic drainage and
Yes.
promote your circulation in your body. And it does engage your core. It does engage like parts of your muscles and things like that. I have loved it. I have had better digestion. I have felt my okay, so being sick, right? I was sick. I was congested. I got on this thing. Literally the next morning, I had no stuffiness. It was gone.
Really?
Like I couldn't,
Wow.
yeah, I was so congested and I got on it and I am crazy, so I'm balls to the wall, right? And so I use it at the highest vibration for 10 minutes twice a day because I'm crazy, right? And I did it. I did it on Christmas twice that day. The next day, I swear I woke up and I was completely like, oh, I'm alive. And I love it. I don't know really. I mean, I think it's working, but like I have used it. My kids have stood on it and they like it, and I don't put on the mag setting for them. They're not staying on it for 10 minutes or anything like that. But like the kids are
Yeah.
really drawn to it too. And
Mm.
I got it too because, like most of you know, if you've been listening, I work remotely and I really wanted something like I didn't want a walking pad because I think I enjoy physically walking to the gym to walk or going outside or whatever. Like I just didn't want a walking pad. But what I love about this is I can just literally get on it for 10 minutes and it moves my muscles and moves my body and like gets things flowing. And so I don't feel so stagnant and I can just get right off and go back to work and like get my brain going. And, so those are the reasons I got it. I love it. I feel like when I first did it, my legs were really red and I read about it and that means like how much your blood's been not circulating well or like I was really itchy. And
Mhm.
so like it was moving the blood around your fluids, the fats, according to the internet. I'm not medical by any means, so I don't want to somebody could be listening to this and be like, what the fuck? But whatever. According to the internet, it said that that's
Mhm.
normal because it was actually like moving and flowing and like basically like cellulite, right? Or if you've ever had body work done and when people are like rubbing on you and touching on
Oh,
you and
yeah.
things build up red, right? Same kind of
Yep.
concept.
Yep.
Like you've had all this stuff build up and blocked and you're moving it around. And so you turn really red or you could get itchy and the same concept. So I freaking love it. I've loved every second of it. I'm not going to stop unless I like die on it, I guess. But so far, it's been 100% for me.
That's cool. Yeah, actually, it was Rebecca, our massage lady, well, your old massage lady.
Is she
She
using
does
it?
energy too.
Does she
Yeah,
recommend it?
she was the one. Yes, she's the one who asked me.
Okay.
And it was
I feel
for
good.
lymphatic drainage specifically is what she was telling me after my last session with her. And so, yeah, I'm gonna have to look into one.
If she approves it, then
Yeah,
I'm doing the right thing.
you're
I'm
doing
not
the
even
right
gonna
thing.
lie to you. I almost asked her because 'cause I'm like, if I get a
Yeah,
seal of approval from Becky, then so
yeah,
thank you. I needed that confirmation
yeah,
that I'm not
that's who it
delulu.
was that asked me about it.
Okay.
Told me get one. Yes,
I've loved it because I feel like, one of the things that I've really been working on is healing my nervous system. I've been wanting to move
yes.
energy around. I want to get things flowing. And you can sit on it, you can stand on it, you can sit with your bottom on the ground and your feet just on it. You can put your arms on it. I mean, there's a many ways you can use it. And I have been actually curating a playlist for me that like aligns with like my vibes of 2026, right? And so I would listen to this music while I'm on it. And I've just really enjoyed it.
Mm,
I've just
mhm,
I don't know,
it's cool.
I've liked it. What his I believe in promptings. I've been very prompted to purchase this item. I actually decided to not purchase it, and then when I went last minute Christmas shopping, I've never seen it in store, and it was right there on sale, and so I was like, "That's a sign," and so I bought it. So I've been really prompted to, like, listen to music. I don't have my phone on it, or whatever. Um, so I've been really trying to align with the vibration of music and sound. So I don't know. I hope all
Yeah,
the
very
all of it
cool.
is working.
Yeah, I
And
love
I've
it.
noticed, like, I'm not swelling. I don't swell.
Yeah,
My fingers used to retain fluid.
yeah,
My digestion has been really regular, if you catch the drift. Like, things move and flow. I can feel it, and,
you're pooping.
it's about to be
It's
yeah,
okay.
I'm
You're
pooping. And
pooping is good. We should poop.
I'm pooping, yes. And I'm about to it's time for my period, and, let's just talk about all my bodily fluids, and, like, I can feel it, like, moving it to party. Like, it's been great. Like, I'm not in pain, I'm not cramping, I'm not bloated like normal. So anyways, that
Well, I
is
think
my
you
sell
just
on
gave me
it.
a great testimonial. You
Girl,
have
they're
to
on
get me one.
Amazon, and they're not
Yeah,
that
you should
expensive. They're
send me
yeah,
the brand so I know.
I'll send you
I don't okay.
there's, like, the Amazon bestseller, which is really good, and then there's, like, this other brand that's, I think, just as good. So I'll send you both,
Yeah,
and you can
yeah,
whatever floats your boat. But,
sounds good.
they're not bad. So far,
Yeah.
that's my recommendation. New year, new vibin', new vibrations, I
New
don't know.
year, new vibe. Literally
Literally
vibration flipped.
vibrating. I call it the
Literally.
jiggler, so I don't really know.
Let's jiggle
It's my
some shit.
jiggler. Yeah,
I
I'm
like it.
just jiggling. Yeah, like,
Jiggle
all I need is a good book
jiggle all
and
the
some
crap out.
jiggling, and yeah, I love it. I just shake the energy off. I don't know. So, I
I
ain't
love it.
mad at it.
All right. Well, what do we got? 5 different kind of prompts that we're gonna go through to kick
Yeah.
off maybe some new thoughts or getting real
Yeah,
with
we have
yourself as we head into 2026 because this episode will air
yes.
New Year's Eve. So,
Yep. Yes. The first thing, though, before we get into the 5 different ones, is the question of what foundational thing, you think about, a foundation if you're built so you can do all these next 5 things, but if your foundation's sand, right? Like, I love that concept. If it's sand, there's nothing supporting it. And I think about even in terms of, like, your root chakra, I think about my year 2025, a lot of the things that I went through were things that were really cool and really good. There wasn't nothing bad that I was doing. Well, there were great things, but like they were built though on a foundation of sand. So my foundation was not a stable, safe, supportive foundation. And so, starting this off, like the question is like what foundational thing are you avoiding or like what kind of groundwork to really set yourself up, you know, um I'm not like we've talked about it before, neither one of us are crazy about resolutions, right? Like I'm not out here telling you to do all these things like I'm going to scale a mountain. Maybe you do, that'd be great. But like what though as you're thinking about even in terms of manifestation, in terms of vision boards, which is just another form of manifestation or like what are you, reflecting upon for the next year, the next month, or the next 6 months. I mean, it doesn't have to be the whole year. Like, whatever you're looking at, whatever kind of goals you're putting out there, intentions that you're setting, what groundwork things are you avoiding? And this is something that you should ask yourself first before trying to layer more and more and more onto it. Otherwise, your foundation's sand.
Yeah. And you're right. I mean, that's directly when I work with clients and we start to work on the chakra system, we may be working on different chakras and different emotions or different changes within them. But ultimately, you have to start at the root because if you don't have
Mhm,
a solid foundation, the rest of the chakra system can't function. One has to be solid for the other one to perform, right? That's the way they're
mhm,
designed. And as I think about what you're saying is like, what are you avoiding, you know? And the root chakra or the foundation to me is a representation of really basic things. And sometimes it's the
mhm,
most basic things that build the
mhm.
foundation, but it's the basic things in a consistent form. So
Yeah.
let me just share with the audience one of the recipes that every client I ever work with, I start them on. And it seems like the silliest things, but one is water. Water intake is
Mhm,
vital, right? Water with salt, actually,
mm,
because salt
mhm,
helps it penetrate your body. Grounding every day, some form of grounding, connecting into that
mhm,
earth energy, right? Those two things are helping you build a foundation and it's something that you can do consistently, right? If you're doing it every day. Like for me and the work I do, I drink a gallon of water a day minimum.
mhm,
So
mhm,
my clients come in and they're like, holy shit, I barely drink 32 ounces of water. Like a gallon of water is never going to happen. So, okay, what can you do? Can you do 64 ounces?
mhm.
Can you increase, what
Yeah.
can you commit to? And when I say grounding, being out in Mother Nature with bare feet, that's the ultimate form of grounding. But we all, that's maybe not a possibility. So I have a special space in my home that I have a quilt that was made specifically for me. I have some hides on it that bring nature in that
Mm,
I use to
mhm,
ground with my bare feet. So you can start with one of the things you said I really want to make sure people think about is start with a practice. Start with a
mhm,
recipe that maybe
mhm,
this is the recipe you start with, but just let it grow as it needs to for you. Like, at the end of this year, of the end of 2026, your foundation might be look completely different. Your work on that may look completely different than it did when you started it in January, and that's okay. That's
mhm.
just trusting your own intuition and letting it grow for you. But having a starting point or starting recipe is always helpful if you don't have any idea what to do.
Totally. Also, that's another reason why I bought my jiggler because
Yeah.
I do avoid grounding a lot. And I think
Do
that,
you? Yeah.
I do, and I think that it's because I think before it was avoidant, and this is why we're doing this, just to be honest. I think I was avoiding connecting to my body at one point or connecting back to my root. I needed to face some things in my root that were blocking or that I didn't want to feel or that I didn't want to connect to. And then I think too, also, as a, I really do believe, like, it's funny because I was like, do I even want to bring this up? And then at the top of my screen, it says Gemini because AI Gemini. I'm a Gemini. So it's like, okay, I just need, anyways. But even as a Gemini and as Myra, as a person, I'm in my head a lot. Like, I live in the clouds. I'm an air sign. I have ideas. I have thoughts. I dream. I love to dream. I love to think, big. And I need to reconnect, though, to Earth. Like, it's a must. And, you know, for me, even reconnecting and grounding is even just being organized at times because I can be really organized, or I like to be up here and just float. And I've noticed when I'm not grounding how more chaotic and floaty days are. Like, as for me, what serves me is being able to, I need to ground to start the day to then have those big, beautiful ideas and that creativity. Otherwise, I just feel kind of unstable or feel that chaotic energy. And that's one of the reasons why I bought the jiggler because, as I call it, because that's also part of a form of grounding is being able to reconnect into my body. So, like,
Mhm.
feeling the movements, feeling what this is, and, like, really bringing myself into my body. And, like, it's a very separate space of time. It's not a long time. You know what I mean? It's not something that's I have to physically leave and go anywhere to do. It's right here. And so that was one of the things that really drew me to wanting to purchase that so that I could layer in some other forms of grounding for me if it's not physically going out into nature.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's great. I think the other thing about like your foundation or associated with the root chakra is your space that you're in, your home, your
Mhm.
car, places you're in a
Mhm.
lot. And you talked about like organization.
Mhm.
And when I've taught classes on the chakras, one of the things I encourage people to do to prepare themselves to understand their root chakra better is go clean their car if you're cluttery in your car, or if you have a space in your home that holds a lot of clutter, because
Mhm.
that will take your energy, right? It imbalances your root chakra when
Mhm.
things are disorderly, right? It
Mhm.
impacts your home. It impacts how you feel in the home, especially places like we all have a space in our home where people gather. A lot of times it's your
Mhm.
kitchen or sometimes your living room or whatever it is. And think about those spaces and feel the energy before you go and clean and get rid of clutter, and then feel it
Mhm.
after. And you'll physically feel the difference. I know you've done it and you felt it.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
just did it Friday. I had, with the holidays and things had
Mhm.
just piled up on my tables. And I just woke up Friday morning and just at 8 o'clock, I just started to clean my house. All my Christmas is down, everything's gone. And I
Yeah,
felt this
mine is too.
overwhelming energy of things, like
Yeah.
things. And it made me feel suffocated.
Mm.
So I just got everything that's no longer serving me. I just was like purging, and it felt
Yeah.
so different. It was interesting. Troy went elk hunting that morning, and he come home and he was like, "Holy cow." Like, he didn't say he felt different, but he said he felt different, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
that's how
Like,
Blake is too.
you
Yeah.
know? He's like,
Yeah.
"It feels like there's so much room in here and,
Yeah, he's
nothing
like, "Wow, it's
substantially
open."
changed." Yeah,
So you
because it
built a
all
whole new house.
I built a whole new house in 5 hours.
I saw this thing and it said, "This coffee tastes like it's time to throw everything away," or like something like that. Like, but and that's the thing, like, because I love the holidays, I really do, but I think, like, at a point, I don't like the clutter, and I don't like everything starts feeling tacky. I don't
Yes.
know. It just all starts, like, melting. I don't know how to explain it, and I'm like, "Okay, there's too many fucking boxes, there's bows everywhere, there's glitter on the floor, I got this damn wreath on my door." You know what I mean? It's like,
Yes, I do.
oh my gosh, yeah, so I love it, I love to decorate for it, it's fun, it's super fun, right? But my dad was like this, he honestly would take it down after we opened presents, and I didn't do that, I did wait till the next day. I allowed Christmas to be humble and joyful
Yeah.
and, I allowed the mess because that's part of it too. I did allow, like, the presents to be everywhere wrapped, you know what I mean? Like, I lived in the
Yeah, I
moment, I
do.
stayed in the
Well,
present,
you've
and then
got
the
2
next
little kids
day
too. Yes.
yeah. Yeah, then the next day I got to
Yeah,
unleash, but yeah, anyways, my dad would not wait a second. That shit came down. He's like, "Okay,
I
Merry
love it.
Christmas, bye." So anyways, yeah. Anyways, but
Mm,
so moving on to the first one, because I think we could honestly talk about groundwork all day. That's a whole
yeah.
episode in itself. But the first one I have here is stop waiting to feel ready. And I really like that one a lot. I think about in my life and in multiple points of my life, whether it was applying for a job, I think about even the job at Union. Like, I genuinely read the job description and was like, oh, yeah, I can do this. And then my family and everyone that like I had sent the post to were like, I don't think she can fucking do that. Like, they were like, do you even know like what kind of role this is? Or, you know what I mean? Or like they were like, what the fuck? And then I think about like certifications I received or different things in my career that if I had just waited around till I felt ready, it would have never happened. But the most recent one I think about outside of my career is the podcast that we're doing. And I feel like you and I had connected on it, then the holidays, and then it was around February. And I feel like we kind of hee-hawed around. I don't know if you felt like that. Like it was kind of like, hey, do you want to do this? Like, are you sure? And I think that it was kind of like, did we do, like, what does this look like? And then as I think back to my first several episodes, um, and I honestly, if go back and listen to them, I'm thinking about them in the moment as a feeling versus like verbally. And I'm sure people can probably hear it. I wasn't nervous because I'm very quick witted. I like to be on the fly, but with this, it did feel very like, do I even fucking know what I'm talking about? Like, should I even really be doing this? And so, like, it's that feeling of imposter syndrome or those anxieties. We've talked about being worthy or what does this look like? And I think about, I totally wasn't 100% this is how I want to phrase it. Like we talk about our spirituality and our journeys, right? It's not, you don't just reach this point. So I think about like if I would have waited until I felt spiritually ready, and I'm using air quotes for those who don't watch,
Yeah.
then I would have never done this. I would have never been like,
Yeah.
I'm the person for this. Like nobody needs to hear my bullshit. Cause at that time I was genuinely fucking spiraling for the first 6 months of 2025. It was a fucking nut job and that's okay.
Yeah.
And I don't regret anything that I said or what I was doing. And there were peaks and valleys of my life, but I'm so glad that I did it anyways, because if I would have waited till now I feel ready. Like I feel version of ready that I think in my head at that time I wanted to feel, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it absolutely does. You're right. I think I'll never forget. It was actually, you were here in person in November
Mhm.
and the idea came and the name came before, like, the spiritual and sassy name came.
Mhm.
And we even talked about the name. And then
Mhm.
I didn't, this is why I don't share a lot with people. One thing I've learned, and it's always proven right to me, is
Mhm.
when you feel fear, and I felt fear to do it as well, like the last thing you want to do is share it with people because then they're going to put their own fear on it as well. So
Mhm.
when we decided to actually do the podcast after the holidays and we set a date and got the platform ready and all of the things,
Mhm.
I didn't share with a soul that I was going to do this
Mm-mm.
with you because I already had my own energy of fear around it. But I
Mhm.
have really tried to embrace the expression fuck the fear. Fuck it. Like you're
Yeah.
going to have fear. And
Yeah.
I've been reading this book called Witch, and it's
Mhm.
funny because this was something I read today and it spoke to me so much. It said, speak your truth even if your voice is shaking.
Mhm.
So
I love that.
don't let the fear stop you. And the other crazy thing is that every time I feel like, is this even worth it? Like, are we reaching people? Are we, we don't look at
Mhm.
our stats a lot, to be honest. We do it because we love it and we believe in it, and where it
Mhm.
goes. But the spiritual and sassy name. So in that same book, my friend is further along than me, and she sent me this morning, and I want to read it because I
Mhm.
sent it to Myra. It says sassy stands for spiritual, authentic, sensual, sensational you. And
Mhm.
that just
I
made
loved it.
me so happy when I read that. I'm like, "Oh my god, that makes so much sense." Like, I didn't even know really did I don't know if you knew, just the name came to us and it resonated and we
No.
rolled with it
Yeah.
through the fear, right?
Yeah.
So speak up even when you feel like your voice is gonna shake. It's okay.
Yeah.
The fear will come.
100%. I love it. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that honestly, this leads right into the second one where it says stop waiting for validation.
Mm.
Like you just said it. I think like it goes back to even what I just said, right? With the job when I first applied for union many, many moons ago for that position that doesn't even it's obsolete or
Yeah.
the old school. But
Yeah.
at that time, like, I think I sent it to people to get their opinion, but I
Mhm.
didn't really need that. I don't know, but and I was young and I think about different times, but I even think about that in my life now. Like, I really don't share things with people. I'm working on something separate and I'm waiting to share that at the right time. And because I have my own nervousness around it, and I don't want, like you said, I don't really need the other energy to be on it just yet. Like it's
Mhm.
not, it's there and it's going to be great. But I think about it because I think about like when starting the podcast and at that same time I was applying for jobs. I was very selective about telling people what roles I was applying to. And then I watched physically telling people finally about some of the roles and I could feel their energy like in seconds penetrate
Mhm.
into that. Like, so
Yeah.
I love this one too for that. Like, I don't need anyone's validation. I don't need my own, like even think about yourself. Like you're searching, not you specifically, but you as a collective, if you're searching for signs or you're like freaking out or like, what do I need to do? Like, oh my God, or is this something going to show me that I need to be doing this or not need to be doing this? Or like, that's also seeking validation for yourself. You're not just seeking it from others or and what that looks like in another form there, but you don't fucking need it. You don't need it. You don't need the validation. You don't need anyone to tell you yes. If you feel it and you're drawn to doing something, fucking do it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the validation is funny. It's a funny, tricky thing because, like, you sharing the story of you sending the job posting out, you were seeking somebody to say, "Oh, you could absolutely do this. I have no doubt you could do this."
Mhm.
And has anybody ever, if you really truly sit back and think about it, we have all at some point seeked validation from others. Maybe it's about our parents, maybe it's about what we can
Mhm.
do, right? Whatever it is, maybe it's about, am I good enough parent? Am I good enough wife? Am I good enough daughter? We've all done it. And what I find funny about it is even when you get the words spoken back to you from somebody else that says, "You're the best wife I ever had. You're the best
Mhm.
mother, Myra. You're whatever it never shifts anything inside of us because we're the only
Mhm.
person who can shift that within our own self. The external
Yep.
words never resonate. So, if I would have shared this with people about potentially doing this podcast and I still would have felt the fear. I still would have felt
Mhm.
the inadequacies that when we started, I still would have had to work through that only for myself. No external word will ever shift that. It's
Mhm.
impossible.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. And then this next one we have written down is be honest with what is draining you. And, I love all of them. And so you could take a shot with how many times I'm going to say I love this, but I do love this one. And I love it because I think about um, the outside world. And I think about, in terms of, I see this. I mean, honestly, now my content's curated to be more spiritual, which I'm very happy with my algorithm at this time in my life. But outside of that, okay, this just came to me a couple months ago. I think I even talked about on the podcast. I unfollowed a ton of influencers on Instagram and
Mm,
bloggers or whatever you want to call them. And it's changed my life. Like, I actually was just sharing this with a friend. I had to go pick her up from the airport last night, and I had stumbled across an influencer that I used to follow, and I could not believe some of this shit. I was like, "Whoa, okay, what did I mean, I missed a lot, you know?" But I did really like she was sharing, like, family meals, and I'm like, "That's really cool." And that would be so great to follow her for those family meals. But that is absolutely not what her whole platform is. That ain't even remotely close to the woman's platform. But I was sharing with my friend, I'm like, it has been so amazing. Like, my consumerism has gone down a ton because, I keep talking about the jiggler, but I am we used to have we had a term in marketing for the company Tress and I worked for together called Progressive Pioneer. And that is who I am. Like, I like technology. I like the latest and greatest. I like new things. I'm totally adventurous. I like to try stuff out. If I see a benefit, I'm like, that's really cool. Let me try that. And so I really, I like those things. And I still am this same person, but it was layered in with consumerism, and it was layered in deflection because I had terrible, terrible habits due to trying to feel something and get a dopamine hit from trauma and emotions that I had not dealt with that I was avoiding. So I was also participating in avoidant behavior, right? And so when I followed those people, so you're literally watching people tell you to buy things, and then they're like, "We don't telling you not to buy anything." That's not true. You live on a freaking estate because people like me, Jimmy John, and Cindy Lou Who over here have bought your Amazon purchases or whatever you've shared, you've made
mhm.
commissions, which is awesome. Good for them. I think it's amazing that they live this life. Go you. But they literally became this person due to consumerism. I mean, that is honestly what
Yeah,
their foundation is.
100%.
It
Yeah.
may have been helpful at one point, but it left that, and a lot of them started brands that were a bust because it's very fun to watch this culture, I think. Now one of them has an agency where they manage and get commissions off other people making commissions, like, it's kind of like multi-level marketing at this point. And I was sharing with her, like, how amazing I feel amazing. Like, my purchases have been more intentional. I've done a lot of groundwork, right? I've done things for myself that I needed to do, but I don't give a shit. And it's been the coolest thing because they were draining me. They were draining
Yeah.
me. And, that leads me to the other thing I was going to share about that is if you are on social media or on Pinterest or wherever the hell you get your content, because we're all consuming something from somewhere, right? Like, some people are out there saying you need this 25 step routine to have young looking skin. Like some that might really work for someone. They may really enjoy that. That might be the most beautiful self-care routine ever. Or they may do this amazing workout set that's like high intensity, and then they do these stretches for hours, and they have this 2-hour block, and they can do all this stuff, and that's wonderful. But if you're trying to do that and it doesn't fit you and it's draining you and it's making you miserable, let the shit go too. You don't have to do what other people are telling you or what society is telling you to do. Or if you are the PTO president of the school and it's fucking killing you, let it go. Like that's draining, that's not serving you, that's not good for you. Or if you're working in an environment that's killing you and you're tired and you feel imbalanced, and fucking get a new job. Like it sounds dramatic, but truly, like stop, be honest with what's draining you, or what can you do in those situations to cut back, or whatever it may be. Like it doesn't have to be as dramatic as leaving that job or quitting the PTA, but like, what can you start doing to change that so that it's not draining you, and be honest with it? Burnout's not cute. Suffering in silence isn't cute. It's not fun. You shouldn't do it. I lived a life where I thought it was funny that I was burning a candle at two ends. That's not funny. That's actually a block of flow. That's not healthy. And so I think about that, and that really resonated with me too. I really needed to be honest. Like, this isn't, my nervous system actually reacts the other way if I'm in constant flight, right? Or fight or flight. Like, it is not good for me. Like, I don't need to hustle. Like, I need to be in calm environments. And so it's something that I've really had to be honest with myself about too.
I think that's the key, is really truly being honest. And we have been so inundated, and it's gotten even worse now with social media, with
Mm-hmm.
the hustle culture, or our worth comes from outputs, right? Especially as
Mm-hmm.
women. You think about how we've been portrayed and what we've been taught to do, right? From cleaning the house to doing the laundry to getting the kids fed. I mean, all of that is in our culture. And then worrying about our appearance because we compare ourselves to unrealistic images that the beauty
Mm-hmm.
industry and the diet industry inundate us with, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so it's really trying to be honest with yourself. And to your point, what is truly draining me? And it's hard for people because of the fear, right? The fear of
Mm-hmm.
judgment, the fear of, if I stop doing this or I put boundaries around this, I'm going to be judged. And you will be. So get fucking ready
Mm-hmm.
for it. But that's that
Mm-hmm.
don't judge yourself. If the person outside of you is judging you, that's a reflection of somebody who no longer is serving you or needs to be in your life. And you have to be
Mm-hmm.
prepared for that. So when you get down to it, get ready for tough things to happen, because it will. But when you start to serve yourself and you start to say, no, I'm not going to do that. Like today, I woke up and I knew that it was going to be more of a relaxing day for me. I needed more rest. I needed more time. I wanted to sit and read. One of the things that you had said on the last podcast that really resonated with me, because I am addicted to that fucking phone and getting on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook and shit. And so I really tried to disconnect. I left my phone most of the week. If I did
Mm-hmm.
decide to get on social media, I made it a point to be present with the social media. Like, okay, I'm going to
Yep.
be here for 10 minutes. I'm not going to
Yeah.
do this mindlessly while watching a TV show. If I'm watching the TV show
Yeah.
or the movie, I'm going to be watching the movie. Like,
Movie, exactly.
yes, exactly. I'm going to be present and make a decision on what I'm doing, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so as you do that, your body's telling you everything you need if you pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're trying to go, okay, I don't even know what is not serving me or what is draining me. Oh, you do. You do if you have awareness. So just start to
Mm-hmm.
become aware. How are you feeling in that situation? How are you feeling when you leave the situation? How are you
Mm-hmm.
feeling around this person or that person? Myra and I were talking about the holidays and like the sometimes pressure that we put on ourselves because we have to attend a family event. You don't have to
Mm-hmm.
do anything. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you do it out of fear a lot of times. When you're doing stuff out of fear, it's the opposite energy of love and it drops your vibration.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep. Mic drop.
Mic drop.
Boom.
And end of discussion on that
Uh,
one.
yeah, no, well, we'll get into that because it's actually like more that ties into number 5, but I'll
Oh, okay, cool.
scoot into 4. So
Scoot into four.
4 is, yes, this one is a is not as heavy. But one non-negotiable habit, and I love that, and the thing around that too, again, take your shot, whatever your beverage of choice is, but
Yeah.
non-negotiable, and, like, protect it. Protect it. Don't I think that, and give yourself grace. I do believe in that too. Life is balance. Shit
Yes,
happens,
for
if
sure.
you choose your non-negotiable to be walk outside every day for 10 minutes or not outside, I don't even fucking know, walk for 10 minutes. If you're sick, you're sick. Like, that's life. Give yourself grace. But you should I think about the times in my life and when I felt aligned with what I'm working on or like what's around me or like when I feel good or when I'm in the momentum, you feel it all flowing, those moments in your life. And a
Mhm.
lot of those times I remember there was something that I always did every day. Like it was a non-negotiable. And at the time it was either, I got in some form of a workout, whether it was 5 minutes or 30 minutes or 45, whatever they look like at that day. That's what I did. And I've gotten away from that, and before I have spoken honestly about that. And some of those times I needed to really work through the intention behind my workout. And so I'm at a healthier place. But I had started up again a few weeks ago, just walking every day and moving my body and getting that movement in, whatever that looks like, even if it's just dancing. There was no pressure around what movement meant anymore for me. And I think about that. And, this even goes back to the water. Tressa's
Mhm.
non-negotiable, no matter what
Yeah,
the fuck's happening, is she's drinking a gallon of water, or you're getting
yeah,
close to it, right? You
yeah, close
consume
to it, yeah.
this amount of water, you've got a number. And I think about that when there have been times in my life when that used to be non-negotiable for me. And I've gotten out of habit of a number. It used to be like 100 and I think 160 ounces. I don't know
Uh-huh.
why. It was what some reason that number was my gallon, I think. I might be making this shit up. I'm not a math person. So here we go. But at one point it was 160, right? Or whatever it was, or 120 or whatever. I don't know. And I think about those times when I really protected that and I fiercely protected that happening for me and things felt good. You can check that's a win. It's a daily win. I think about life. Life's already a fuckery at times. It's beautiful, but it can be you have your highs and your lows and the good and the joy and all these things. I've been looking at my days and trying to really celebrate my wins, whatever that win is. I don't even know what the win is. But if you have a non-negotiable habit, that's always a win. It's always a win. And it's always something you can be like, I fucking did that. Whether it's meditate for 5 minutes a day or ground, even if I'm grounding and walk outside for 1 minute, for God's sakes, and ground and just feel present in my body, that's a non negotiable habit. Now, so I'm showing or I'm explaining differences. It doesn't have to be so big and grand. It can be something as small as that, or praying every day, or like, reconnecting and being in gratitude and prayer. Like, there are so many things that people you can choose from. You can really just pick and just hone into that. Or it might be reading. I don't know. I'm listing things at this point, but those are some of the things that came to mind for me. And I think about the times in my life when I actually did protect my habits or those things and they were non negotiables and how good I did feel when I protected them. And those are some things that I've been out of practice with. And I'm looking forward to recalibrating for some of those things back into for the now. I'm not going to wait, but now before the year coming up.
Yeah, yeah, you don't have to wait for that. Yeah, I
No.
love that. I think, I know you said 1, but I would encourage you to pick at least 3 non-negotiables and
Yeah.
think about it in the terms of mind, body, spirit,
Mhm.
right? What are you gonna do for your mind? What are you gonna do for your body? And what are you gonna do for your spirit? And I truly believe this doesn't have to take long. Like, the little routine that I said give to my clients on water and grounding can take
Mhm.
1 minute. Or less.
Mhm.
It's not you've gotta fit it into your lifestyle to make it work, right?
Mhm.
So, like, I think about mind, body, spirit for me. My water does both. It helps my body
Mhm.
and it helps my spirituality, because
Mhm.
if you're dehydrated, you can't experience other energy forms very easily. It just
Mm-mm.
can't happen. I make sure that I set intention or prayer every day and meditate, or they're one and
Mhm.
the same to me. They can be
Yeah.
interchangeable. And
Yeah.
then for my mind, I like to digest different content in the morning of
Mhm.
and other energy workers or like-minded people. That could be through a
Mhm.
podcast, a YouTube video, a book. So I try to make sure that I do that every single day, and body movement, whether that
Mhm.
is a short walk, a little bit of stretching, whatever that
The
is. It
jiggler.
doesn't have to be what's that?
I said the jiggler.
The jiggler. Well, now I'm gonna get the
Yeah.
jiggler, so I'll have that. But yes, the jiggler. Like, you don't have to go and kill yourself at the gym for 5 hours every day.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
even, just a little bit of body movement every day can make a world of difference. One of the things I did, I've
Mhm.
got out of the habit of, but it was really very helpful, is, like, I would just walk for, like, 5 to 10 minutes after I ate,
Mhm.
just to get your digestive system going, and that could be walking
Yeah.
around. Sometimes I just walk around my house, I just
Oh, yeah.
do laps around my own house, I
Yeah.
didn't have to go anywhere. They don't have to be hard, but they do have
Mhm.
to be consistent, because that's what builds momentum.
Yeah. I agree, and then I'll shut up because this leads beautifully into the 5. The, when I was in college, it really I drank so much water, and I worked out and I walked. I walked after dinner. Really thought about like at that time, social media was, I mean, it was like it existed, but it wasn't the same. Like, short form video wasn't what it is now. You weren't just sitting there doom scrolling. Like, I don't even remember being on my phone like this. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
totally a new level. But I felt that's what when I'm thinking about these things, I think about that feeling. And I think about, even though that was such a fun, it was a beautiful and messy time of my life. I'm so grateful that I had those habits, and I'm very grateful for them because I think that they grounded me at the time. I would not be able to put them in words like I can now at that time, but when I was feeling my safety was gone, I was in a new place, I was in a new environment. I had my father figure, exit the mortal plane, like he
Yeah.
transitioned. There was a lot of shit going down. And I'm so glad that my intuition led me to that path, and just really, really worked on that. And I worked on the foods that I was ingesting at that time. I ate very clean and happy. And I think about the natural things that I attached to, and being outside and just being active. And and that's such a funny thing to think, like, man, I think about how I was in college. It wasn't about the parties or about the boys or about whatever. I was very diligent with those things, and I think that they really helped me. Like, I don't think that I would have been able to make it through those years without being able to anchor to that, and so I'm grateful for that. I give a lot of gratitude to that as I'm talking about it. So, do those things.
Do those
Move,
things. Yeah.
drink water, pray. Mind, body, spirit.
There you go.
But so the 5th one I know everyone's been dying to hear because I haven't stopped talking about it, is fix your environment. What are you consuming? And this
Mm.
hits on everything that we talked about. Whether are you consuming, what kind of content are you consuming? Are you doom scrolling all day? Talking about scrolling, my algorithm has changed totally. My algorithm is mostly spiritual. It is totally, I mean, I get some random funny content, but my algorithm has been curated. I don't get served clothing anymore or like items to buy. So thank you, AI and data. It's very much curated to my mindset right now. But, I think about that. So what are you consuming on your social media platforms? Krista mentioned she starts her day with some form of spirituality on a podcast or a YouTube video, which could be a podcast too, or it could be a book. It could be anything. So like, what are you digesting when you read, when you're listening to podcasts? What's your music look like? And I had briefly mentioned when I'm on my jiggler, I've been listening to music. And so I actually, a couple nights ago, I love music and I've not listened to music in a while. And these are those things, right? With 2025 and a lot of the things that I felt very connected to, I have let go because I was truly, the onion was so peeled. I think that I didn't want to feel again or be seen again or joyful, or I didn't know really how to kind of acclimate. I think I like that word, acclimate into myself in the new version. I didn't know how to really acclimate. And so I think about the things that I love that I wasn't doing. I wasn't walking or drinking water like I should, or grounding or praying or being organized or listening to music or singing or dancing. Like I think about the things that I wasn't and I was still doing them, right, but not like I had been, or I wasn't really getting into the groove again with those things. And so I sat down the other night and I actually curated a playlist based on my word of the year, which I magically decided last podcast that it was powerful, and I like it. I'm sticking with it.
Yeah,
And so
powerful.
I made a playlist called I Am Powerful 2026. And I found different songs that aligned with me and with that I love, songs that make me happy, but also empower me and that are forms of manifestation for me, and I curated this playlist. So that's something that I think about, like, what kind of music am I listening to also, and I found an artist. His name's called Abel Hart, and he has songs that are tuned to certain frequencies, and they sing about manifestations or being lucky or attuning your heart or whatever it is. And they're very vibrational music. And so some of those are in there, as some new mainstream and oldies and classics are on there too, but they are songs that were in the words resonate with me and they resonate with who I see myself as, and so because when you sing it and you think it in your thoughts, you put that out there. And so that goes into what are you like, how, if you're consuming negative music or you're consuming doom scrolling, and, we've talked about being comfortable with wealth. I've started listening to one financial podcast a day or something financial. I've been consuming something financial because before I would turn it off. I'd be like, I don't know what that shit is, or could that ever be me? I don't know. So that's something I've been doing to get comfortable with wealth, right? And holding more and being comfortable with more and being comfortable with expansion. I found a podcast that aligns that's called Hot, Smart, Rich. And it's super fun and it feels good and I enjoy it. So that's something I've been trying to consume to align myself with. But with the consumption, it's not just, the music or the internet or food, it's also people and the places. Like, who's in your environment that's draining you, bringing you down, not really meant to be here, and who's out, man. Like, when you think about what's in and out for next year, think about the people in your life. When you're going through these 5 things here, really your first 4, and then you're at your 5th, right? You're thinking, what's your ins and what's your out? What are you in for 2026 and what's out? You're going to start thinking about people. People are going to come to your mind. It's releasing those labels and those obligations and those attachments to people because of a role that they might have in your life. Because if they don't serve you and they're draining you, then all these other things don't. They can get you there, but they're not going to take you home. So
Yeah,
that's my rant.
that's so true. Yeah, I mean, we did an episode about this exact thing a few weeks ago about your vibration, right? And what you're taking in,
Mhm.
what your environments, what are you around in your environment? People, food, what you're drinking, what you're listening to, all of it. I find it interesting. One of the energy workers that I used to follow quite a bit, I don't so much anymore. She was I mean, she's just was madly in love with her husband, which was beautiful, right? But one
Mhm.
of the things she talked about is she wouldn't even listen to songs about breakups. Like, she wouldn't even allow that in her energy because
Yeah.
she didn't want anything to impact this beautiful relationship she'd created. And I
Mhm.
have to admit, when she talked about that, I kind of was like, that's so stupid. That is so stupid. Like, I judged her for it, I
Yeah.
won't lie. But then the more that I've learned over the years about vibration, I'm like, "Oh, okay, I get it." But here's the caveat to it that I truly believe. It's
Mhm.
your awareness of it. Like, if I'm listening to a
Mhm.
song and I'm aware that it's just a song, it doesn't have to be a part of my existence. Like, I don't,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Like, the awareness of
Yeah.
why I'm doing
Mhm.
it. Like, I kinda talk and
Yeah.
tease about, like, my dirty little secret of I love all the housewife shows. That stupid
Yeah.
Bravo got me sucked in.
Yeah.
But when I sit down to watch it, I have an awareness that
Mhm.
this isn't permeating into me. It's just me allowing myself to enjoy being a human and being mindless
Mhm.
and watching these ridiculous people unfold on because they are ridiculous, let's just be honest.
Mm.
Some of the shit they do is ridiculous. It's a pure form of entertainment for me. I'm not going to allow their
Mhm.
vibration to change who I am. I'm not gonna run out and try to be a housewife and have, plastic surgery on
You
myself.
sure?
I know who I am. So it's like having that awareness and then going back to your environment, thinking about your environment, thinking about,
Mhm.
you know, I have gotten rid of a lot of things in my living room lately that they just didn't vibe with me anymore. They served me for a
Mhm.
time. And when I got rid of them, I even thank them. Thank you for your service. Thank you for being with
Yeah.
me for this period of time. It no longer resonates, you know?
Mhm.
So bring things into your environment that vibe with you, that make you happy, and don't feel we get so attached to things sometimes that we feel
Mhm.
bad about getting rid of them, right? And when things show up, think about, why did this show up for me? Nothing is coincidental.
Yeah.
It was the
Mhm.
craziest thing for Christmas. My mother-in-law got me this. It looks like a sink for your soap.
Mhm.
It's like it's a
Mhm.
soap holder and it's really heavy,
Yeah.
and a bar of soap, like,
Mhm.
and I sat there like, "Wow, I don't know about this because I always just
Mhm.
use the soft soap, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I was like, "No, this is so," I felt really drawn to try it. So I put it in my
Mhm.
bathroom. The bar of soap was like a homemade cherry blossom. Oh my god, I'm loving it.
Mhm.
Because it's
Yeah.
little I started thinking, I've been trying to get to more natural substances
Yeah.
in everything, right? What I'm eating, what I'm
Mhm.
putting on my body, and that is a more natural way. Like, we just lost touch with washing our hands with soap because 'cause we've gotten so used to
Mhm.
the for those, you
No,
should
you're
watch the
right.
YouTube episode because 'cause I'm doing the pumping,
Yeah, there's a lot happening.
the soft
Go
soap
ahead.
stuff, whatever
Yeah,
it
just
is,
go lower.
you
Just
know?
go lower. Just get
So, anywho, I'm like, "Oh my god, this came to me for a reason. I've been asking for
Yeah.
this, now the universe is serving me stuff." And at first, I was
Mhm.
even a little resistant to it, but it makes my hands feel different, it makes my body feel different because I can feel that it's more natural. I don't know if the word
Mhm.
organic is right, but it feels more natural, and we've
Yeah.
gotten away from a lot of that. So just start to think about that as you set up your environment, and don't be afraid to get rid of things that aren't serving you, and bring new things in and
Yeah.
try it. See how you feel.
Exactly. Yeah, this is actually kind of funny. I know we're coming up on time, but I think about stuff, getting rid of it. And then you mentioned gifts. Why did the gift show up for you? And, I love
Mhm.
that, like reconnecting with your hands and then washing hands. And made me think because I actually got a gift from my aunt this year that I gave her last year. And
She regifted it
I
back.
I love it. She sure did.
Yeah.
And, in the moment, I was, like, kinda hurt because it's actually it's right here. That's what made me think about it, but I can't reach it without being
Okay.
kinda weird. But, it's a hand-drawn picture of the old well, which is a symbol, an iconic symbol of the University of North Carolina, and that's where I went to college, right? And that's where she also went to college. And last December I went to a craft fair and I bought myself like a really big one that was just like a little more in depth, like it had more of the iconic area around it. And I bought her a small one. And as you were talking, it came to me because see, I was my feelings were hurt on Christmas, not because I wanted more. I mean, I'm fine. She did buy me a really big, beautiful family sized UNC throw, which was super great and I'm grateful for it. And Nola's loved it. But it hurt my feelings because I had bought this gift for her with her in mind, and it was supposed to be sentimental. And when I did tell her, I'm like, "Libby, I gave you this last year." And I wasn't mean, I was like, she's like, "Did you love that drawing?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got it for you last year." And she's like, "Oh, I was wondering where this came from." And then as you're talking about the hand soap and why did this come back to me? I actually think it meant to come back to me because when I bought it, I don't know what my intentions were because my relationship with my aunt has been very roller coastery. And I feel like it has been proving myself to her that I'm not the person that she thinks I am in her head for a very long time. And I think like we've made groundwork this year, but I think last year I did it truly probably in the moment as I'm thinking or reflecting to make a connection or like to show her like I am thinking of you. Like look at this unique hand drawn item that I'm buying for you for no fucking reason. And she didn't remember it came from me because it didn't land. Like
Mhm.
it wasn't meant for her and the intention wasn't there. And so it is really funny and it is kind of sad, like, what the fuck, But honestly, though, talking now, I give her grace because she genuinely didn't know where it came from. And that means it didn't land. Like, it wasn't memorable for her. She didn't appreciate it. I totally put way too much effort and energy into it because I was trying to make nice or an obligation. I don't know, like, there's this dynamic that I really wanted I wanted some relationship that's not gonna happen probably, and that's okay. I mean, it's what it is. And so I think that I got it back because it wasn't meant for her. It was meant to come
Yeah,
back to me because it meant something to me and me only, like, apparently, and that's okay. But, I don't know, I had that little light bulb moment while you were talking about it, and I think that, also ties into this too, like, it served its purpose, and because of the intention behind it, it wasn't meant to stay, and it wasn't
yeah.
memorable.
I know. I think you're right. I think you probably did it through the energy of ego, right? You're
Mhm.
trying to make something happen through force, through,
Yeah.
and that never works. I've really tried
Mm-mm.
even this year, I really try to find gifts through the energy of
Mhm.
love. And if I don't find
Mhm.
something, I don't feel obligated to get something for somebody. I've stopped
Yeah.
that because
Mhm.
I don't want to buy something that doesn't mean something to them, that I
Mhm.
feel like I'm getting in the energy of
Yeah.
love just to do
Mhm.
something, you know?
Yeah.
And that's hard sometimes because
Mhm.
my couple of my friends, we got together a few weeks ago. I'm like, "Your gift hasn't found me yet." It just hasn't. I've been trying, but I'm not gonna force something that doesn't fit. They both loved it. They both understood. And then a few weeks later, their gift found me. Now it's not here yet. It'll be late, but it's the right thing. I waited,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Oh,
So,
100%. Yeah.
yeah,
I agree
makes
with all
sense.
that too.
Yeah. So, wow. Well, we've been going for an hour now. So,
We were chatty. I
probably
was
time
chatty.
to we were both chatty. It was great. Loved it. Something to
Ah.
start to consider as you do whatever you do in 2026.
Yeah.
Make changes, good ones.
Yep.
All right. Well, until
Here you
next
go.
time, keep your vibrations way high.
And stay sassy. Until next year.
Then we'll get sassier.
Yeah.